Hey, I'm Robin.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And now we're discussing episode
9.
Episode 9. Now, before we start, I just got one little thing. I thought today was appropriate. Debbie's gone.
Debbie's gone.
Very happy.
Okay, the Debbie
Very
show.
happy. So I thought I'd bring a party hat.
I wish I could say I disagree, but I agree. It is appropriate.
Yeah,
It's terrific.
keeping you on your toes, mate.
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay, all right. Let's start.
Let's start. Well,
After the flat episode last week with the ridiculous vote of Aussie,
I know.
the pointless vote of Aussie,
Very pointless.
led by the one and
Debbie.
only Debbie, and I was a bit sick that last episode as well, so
Well.
we apologise. Well, I apologise. We did discuss yesterday that as we try and refine, try and work out what we want to talk about, we're like, we won't talk about rewards as much.
we have
Funnily
to
enough, this reward challenge, what a ridiculous reward. What a great reward challenge. Like, let's just start off there. That was a great
Okay,
one.
I got a page on it.
You would have. You would have.
It's just so much happened.
Oh, what a great challenge. I was really... I was in tears, but I'm always in tears if you've ever seen me break down to Survivor. Yeah, so it got me. I was in tears with Sari there.
Debbie gets a moment to camera. And Debbie's like, typical Debbie, you know. Now I've got my alliance, all we have to do is pick the other 5 off.
Exactly, and like we said, it's like that's what Brad and Sierra have done. Let Debbie have her power for that little bit, and she's on your side. You think when you give someone that little bit of power to make them think they're in control one point in time, someone like Debbie goes to their head.
So now Debbie thinks, oh, this is rock solid. I can count on this.
Yep.
It's 100%. So now all I have to do is pick the target and they're gone. And of course, this is exactly what happened in her first season. She got to this point where she was
and that's why she's not a game changer.
And
She can't. There's no strategic
strategy
brain there.
Nothing
Going on. She thinks she's thinking she's in control. Never has been.
Andrea, before we get the reward again, made a bit of an error talking to Zeke about the friction between them in the open.
It's hard. You got to let it go.
Only because even though Brad and Sierra may have had suspicions, Andrea talking to Zeke about it in the open actually confirmed what was going on, and now they know 100% what the situation is, and they can try and exploit that.
They can exploit that.
Right.
Yeah, and we've got to be water under the bridge. Sometimes you got to just, as Cochrane said, you just got to suck it up sometimes and apologise, whether you want to or not, or whether you're in the right or not.
Now, one of the reasons I want to talk about the pick is because this actually has it's a very telling pick.
Yeah.
They did schoolyard captain, right?
Yeah.
Which means I get a rock, you get a rock, we're captains, and we pick.
Culpepper was the captain.
Culpepper and Sari. Sorry.
You got it right.
Was a captain. And it's really interesting because you look at who they picked on their team, and neither side... Now, you know how schoolyard picks work. I pick my first one, you pick your first one. And then as we get more people, we get suggestions from the other people in the group about who we should be picking.
But that wouldn't have happened. They would have just gone straight to the alliance. I reckon straight to the alliance.
They didn't vote their alliance. Actually, they didn't pick their alliance.
Oh, didn't they?
And Brad even says why he didn't pick his alliance later.
Yes, of course, he did. Very clever.
Very clever.
Yes.
But the reason I bring this up is simply because Sari picked Zeke. This is a purely physical challenge. Zeke and Ty in front of Michaela. Michaela was on the outer. What I mean is, like, Michaela's on the all by herself. She was the one that was not picked.
And she's never been picked for anything physical this whole.
Exactly, but it gives you an idea of just how out she is with people.
Yeah.
They actually think I can get further in this challenge picking Zeke, a physical challenge, than I can Michaela, who is clearly better at physical challenges than Zeke.
Yeah.
Because I can't work with her.
Yeah.
That's the attitude. Like, and it does develop further later in the episode. We'll see more of that. But at this time, I think it's really telling who they left out for a physical challenge. Michaela, normally somebody of Michaela's caliber in a physical challenge should be
one of the first to pick.
One of the first
and
three.
Debbie is usually one you'd leave behind.
Exactly.
Debbie, the gymnast, who we saw at her balancing best as she kind of cat crawled across the balancing.
That's right. But here's Michaela sitting by herself, and Look, she was angry as heck.
She was very angry,
right?
And that anger turned into a very big missed opportunity for her.
Well, she made it worse for herself because when Jeff said to her in the reward challenge, well, how does it feel, Michaela? Michaela was like, well, they all just pick them alliances. They don't know what to do and I hate them all. Like, she didn't say I hate you all, but basically the attitude was, you're all idiots. You know, I don't like any of you.
Yeah, and maybe that's just must be what camp life's like. They really struggle with... Because I don't see it... I see it more this season than I did last season. Like, I can see how she can frustrate people, and she's always eating. It's always... And I think that was the same... It's always been this constant theme. And obviously we know she is very hot-headed. But that must wear thin.
It must really make it up. That's what I'm trying to get at.
To not pick her.
Yeah, to not pick, despite her physical characteristics, is a real tell. About how, and this is the thing, it's not about one person. I'm talking about this is how groups are thinking about it.
Yeah,
and that's why I found it very interesting. Remember, Sari has thrown Michaela a lifeline, and she's got her in her back pocket. Now, a lot of people out there might think, well, why didn't she pick Michaela? And there's a really good reason, and when you think about it, it's a very smart move on Sari's part.
Yeah, she's very, very clever, Sari.
Sari is clever because if she had picked Michaela to be in her group, it would have been despite what other people were saying to her, maybe, but we don't know that for sure. But the other reason is she would have broken the isolation that Michaela's in.
Yeah.
But if you want somebody in your back pocket,
you keep
them isolated.
Yeah.
Keep them making themselves more isolated. Don't bring them in the circle.
Saving her, you have to stay in there because then if she does come out and really dominate the challenge and people actually get to see Michaela in some form of physical challenge she hasn't been seen at all this season, they might be like, let's bond a bit.
Yeah, but Sari's keeping her so that she knows Michaela can only play her game through her. She has no other alliance to go to. Everybody dislikes her. Now she's making sure that Sari knows it and they know it, right?
Yeah.
So now Michaela is more in Sari's pocket because she didn't pick her.
Yeah.
Than if she did. Like, she might have been a bit grateful if she picked her.
Do you think she could ever just still be like, well, why didn't you pick me? Like, why didn't you pick me?
Because exactly, this is the thing.
Sari can always just be like, I'd be like, well, you had a chance to pick me and you didn't, so you must not like me as much either.
No.
So being in your back pocket might not be as...
But this is how Sari can get around it, and she did it last time with her as well, right? Because she voted for her, remember, right?
Yeah.
But remember, she told her, even as she voted for her in the post thing, she's going, well, this is the only way I can save you. Last time I checked, voting for somebody is not a way to save them, right?
That's a way to make yourself cover your...
exactly, right?
You know, if you've left footprints, you're wiping them
But this is what she can say to Michaela. Michaela could come up to her, say, in one-on-one and say, why did you pick me? And she can say to Michaela, because it's better for our game.
Yes.
So I not pick you, because then they don't know we're together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the secret alliance. She can go that line.
She's solid, yeah.
She's solid. We're solid, you know. But she's isolating her in the same moment, right? But anyway.
And in that isolation, you get the frustration and the anger, which hones in and stops you paying attention to your surroundings.
To your surroundings,
and secret advantage, bye-bye.
Do you see the way she sat in that bench?
Oh.
She was just like, lean back. You
know, whatever. Yeah, you should have picked me. Whatever.
Anytime, and we know this from Exile, right? Anytime you are sent out by Jeff by yourself, there is a good chance there is an advantage there.
There's a positive. Like, this is the first time in this.
Oh, no.
Because usually if you're off on your own, maybe you just get to join in on the advantage.
Normally
they tell you at the start.
Well, this is when my alarm bell rang, because they normally say, well, somebody has to sit this out. But you get to choose one team, and if they win, you go with them. Right? And he didn't say that. He said, no, you have to go and sit over there by yourself. Now, that's when a little alarm bell rang for me. I went, well, there must be something else going on.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. But as you said, and this is the thing, it wasn't even hidden.
No. It was so not hidden. It even had had its big white writing.
Let's put it this way. Sarah, standing on the other raft,
is like
20 feet away, could read the writing.
Me being blind without my glasses probably could have read the writing. It's like, that looks out of place.
And, she's put her stuff down next to it.
But well done for Sarah for just getting that without...
No, look, Sarah...
Just to take that, slip it in, while everyone's packing up. I thought that was well
I actually
played.
replayed this section because I had to look again and to see how Sarah did it because it was just so casual.
So casual.
And what she's done a really smart thing. She's let the boat come in.
Yeah.
She's let them all get on the boat, right? Then she's just stood there and let the boat go to get Michaela.
Yeah.
And then she's hopped in the water, swum over. Michaela's got on the boat. She's just walked over and
undoes the shoe, slides it into the shoe because I want to be barefoot at the moment. Easy.
I've got an advantage.
Done. So beautiful. That was masterful.
That was fantastic.
And yeah, so that was great. And I'm very, very happy because I'm like, oh, they're showing it. Come on, Michaela. Come on, just move your foot and knock it or something. Never did. But then the way Sarah just was like, hang on. I'll take it.
I'll take it, right?
Because in my mind, I'd be like, foolish. I'd be like, I probably would have gone, Michaela, what's under your foot?
No, well,
yeah, that'd be stupid.
I was actually worried one of them was going to do that.
Yeah, I was like, grab that, because I didn't know how far. Like, grab it, don't let it go to waste.
But Sarah did that right. She played it exactly right. And the other thing is, she did it right under their eyes. Like this is the equivalent of picking up a idol during a challenge, right?
Oh yeah. You
have to be right on your game to be able to get that advantage without anybody seeing you.
And that was she did. So I've never and we were talking about Troyzan's attempt, and we were going to Kelly Whitworth's attempt of trying to get. Sarah just nailed it. Yeah. That was so smooth.
So smooth. Just never said a thing. She just held her. She held her nerve. Mm-hmm. She just waited. Like at any stage, one of the others going to the boat could have gone, and just come back too.
What are you doing?
Yeah, or what are you doing? Or something, you know?
Not a chance. She had that.
Sarah's shaping up really well.
She's doing some good things. She almost this could have gone either way for her, and she chose like she said, she played it safe last time, and today, and she didn't even need to use her advantage, which was great. Like
no, look, this is what I really like. Sarah actually did something last, and even though it was to get Aussie out, she flipped.
She flipped,
right?
But she flipped on a team that was already broken, so you aren't really seen as a flipper.
No, she's done it the right way.
And for Culpepper, in all his big thinking of Troyzan and Sarah back home, how could you possibly have thought Sarah was solid when she just came for this one time? She wasn't there earlier. She was with the other group before the friction happened.
But did you hear Debbie talk about Sarah too? Now we've got our 6, and Debbie talked about Sarah exactly the same way. So solid.
Oh, and then she also said, "I want Sarah out of here." But later on,
later on,
because she's crazy.
But when she's counting her 6, she's going, "We've got Brad, we've got Sierra, we've got Sarah, and we're all so solid." And I'm like,
"How is that solid?"
Debbie, grow a brain.
I know, she came from the other tribe. She only flipped over because it was benefit for herself to stick with this numbers because her alliance was fracturing around her.
Exactly, right?
How is that a solid thing? Like, that was, to me, I thought that was like, there's not many flaws in Brad's game so far.
No, but he did display one there where he counted Sarah as a solid.
He counted Sarah as a solid. Sarah was never a solid.
No, but you don't count it after one. You don't sit there and go, she voted with it once. Oh, that's okay.
We're locked in. Yeah, that was foolish. And
was foolish.
Yeah, she was already thinking prior to that reward challenge when she talked to Sarah on the net, going what should do. And of course, Sarah's going to say, well, you're in the wrong. You might be in the majority.
Of course, anybody who's got any game and who isn't on the inner on the big alliance is going to say that to her. Yeah. And Sarah should expect to hear.
Now, Sarah's game is at a turning point, as I've been thinking about. It's like when you think about the numbers, when we got to the vote, like, because look, immunity was immunity. There was not much to be said about immunity. Not much to that one this time around. So the interesting thing was our tribal and how that all went down.
Yes.
And Sarah, she was umming and ahhing. I'll decide when I get there. She said that.
I would like to take issue with that.
I agree. I think she was locked in because if she waits, say if she didn't flip now,
I think I just think generally it's a very bad strategy to wait till council to make your decision.
Oh yeah, you got to lock that down.
You got to lock it down before you go there because you will hear so many conflicting stories. So
go ahead. No. But what I was saying is, if she didn't go back, this alliance, you kind of got to wear out the storm and stick with the 6, and someone else wants to go out because now, like right now, it's 5 and 6. You can jump across, perfect. Exactly. But now she kind of has to stay with that team for a moment because if then she flips back and forth, she's going to be known as a flipper. And not... Yeah, she
I'm
will
not
be.
sure about
no,
that.
I reckon she will be. She has to stick with these guys for a couple of votes at least before she makes another big move.
I'm not sure, but let's put it this way. She's flipped and got Aussie out, right? Yeah. She's flipped and got Desi out. What I mean, Debbie out. But her thinking at the moment for why she's doing this is very good. It's not about how she feels. No. It's about what's better for her game, right? Yeah. The other thing I like about it is she actually understands one very important thing that a lot of players don't. This is the time to make moves. Don't make moves when there are 6 people left. Yeah. 7 is the last time you get to make a move. Because if you got a solid 3 after 7, it's very difficult to make a move after that, right? So she's making the moves at the right time. It's whether she survives making the moves.
Yeah, I think if she keeps making these flips and switches, make a big move, but make a big move next time by voting out your Brad and your Sierra, which she should have gone. As much as I'm very happy, should have targeted one.
Absolutely. Look, that is one.
Go on.
Well, this is one of the things that I think is the worst thing about getting rid of Debbie. If she could have gotten the votes, and they clearly had the votes, and Andrea knew this, Zeke knew this, and Sarah knew this. Now, whatever you think about Ty and the rest of them that voted with them, it's irrelevant because these 3 players are on the ball, right? Yeah. They must know that getting Debbie out is like getting the weakest link out.
And we saw that when Debbie, as we said with the Aussie vote, there was nothing behind it. But we saw that as Debbie came in and said, Michaela, we know it. It's Michaela. Yeah. It's like, what are you thinking? Look, it's got to be Michaela. And as we said, Brad's like, let someone have their power.
Yes.
Brad had to reel her in. Hold on, Debbie. Yeah. I know we don't like Michaela, but she isn't a threat.
Brad's thinking is top notch. Like he's like, let's vote smart. That's what he said to her, right?
And that was the way to make. We got to be smart. Yeah, we're going to be smart.
Yeah, we're going to be smart.
I'm a smart player.
I'm going to be a smart player.
But before that, I was like, we got Michaela. That's it. No, we don't need to talk about Michaela. It's all good. We've got this.
What I really liked about Sarah and Brad in that moment was both Sarah and Brad are like, yes, we both hate Michaela too, right? Yeah. But let's vote smart. Yeah. Let's get rid of a real threat. Yeah. Andrea. And they've picked a real threat. Yeah. Andrea's thinking is first class.
Andrea's going to be near the end of most... She's been near the end at most individual immunities.
What I like about Andrea is this. Sarah goes to see Andrea, that's right. And they start talking about what the situation is. And Sarah basically gives her a précis of the situation. Like she goes, there's Brad and Sierra, blah, blah, blah. This is why it's going to fall out. There's these other guys on the other side. Sierra, Andrew's just got the whole thing mapped. Yeah. She knows what's going on. She knows she's a target.
But she also had to be told by Sarah and Sari, you got to cool things up with Zeke. You need to.
Oh no! Look, Sarah came to Andrea and said, "Look, if we're going to do this, you need to work with Zeke.
You need to work it with him."
But they said the same thing to Zeke. If we do this, you're going to have to work with Andrea, right? And this is where good players stand out. Now, Zeke said, I don't want to work with her, but I will for this vote. Yeah. This is a good player. Yeah. Somebody who's willing to push aside personal feelings and go, what's going to get me further in this game?
Zeke could go for her.
But this is the interesting thing, the way things have fallen out now. I'm actually interested to see whether or not Sarah can... Like, if you get Sarah, Andrea, and Zeke together... Yeah. And they form a nice little 3. Yeah. That's a really powerful 3.
Yeah, I'd still swap Andrea out with Sari. Andrea doesn't have what Sari has. No way.
No, I think Andrea's better than Sari.
No way, not even close.
Yeah, much better.
No.
Because I'll tell you now, Sari's game, right, has not been very good except for what she's done with Michaela.
Nah,
Michaela's
what she said to Sarah. What she said to Sarah on the hammock.
That's standard. That's just standard stuff, right? Look what Troyson says in the tribal. Oh well, look, you should stay with the 6 and vote with the 6 until there's only 6. Then we'll see what happens. Now, if you're not in the 6, if you're in the 6, that's what you say, right? Yeah. That's standard. Because if you're not in the 6, you guys should be banding together as much as you can and getting rid of the 6. Yeah. And Troyson's trying to say, no, you shouldn't. You should be voting with us.
Exactly.
What an idiot. Yeah. Right? But what I mean is you only say that if you're in the 6.
If you're comfortable within the 6. Yeah. Sarah had to jump today.
Yes.
Or that vote. If she didn't jump that vote, she has to ride the storm out with that 6 and then try and find another way because look like unless
But look, Sarah made a very correct statement. She said, "I'm in the 6, but I'm on the bottom."
Yeah.
And she has made the other correct assessment. If you're on the bottom of the 6, don't stay with the 6.
But she also did the great thing, and this is why I think her flips haven't been thus far. I can't see them as flip.
No, they're not.
It's not like oh, I'm on
He's
the bottom
pissed
of the
me
6.
off, so I have to.
Guys, can we come over here? She's gone. I'm on the bottom of the 6, and now put herself probably top 3 in the other 6.
That's right.
You know, you are talking to Zeke, Audrey, who are it's more so. I think it's more Sarah and Cirie, and Zeke and Audrey are kind of, because of their clash, one of them is going to come out the better sooner or later.
Look, Sarah, when she was talking to Cirie, said, and this is where Sarah's thinking is really good. She's like, is it repairable? But meaning between Zeke and Andrea. And Cirie's sort of like, well, yeah, it is. And that's the way people should be thinking. Like, people too often see a divide and then go, oh, well, that's it.
Exactly. That's not it. The divide came from a fear and came from, and Andrea was right. It's come from Zeke not having the power that he wanted.
Exactly.
And you need to let go of that. You need to relinquish some power at certain points in time while still keeping your finger on the pulse to take the power when you need the power.
Well, Zeke himself, interestingly enough, and let's characterise this with Debbie's thinking, when they went to one-on-one with Zeke, they said, he got to say something about where he is and what's going on. And he said, I'm on the bottom, so I've got to sit here, I've got to shut up, and I've got to try and figure out a way forward from here. Yeah. Now, you characterise that with the way Debbie's been thinking, it's the complete opposite, right? But Zeke understands where he is. He knows what he has to do to keep going, right? Like, Zeke's still, even though he's on the outer, he's still a player.
Well, Debbie, in Debbie's mind, she knew exactly where she was. I mean, she even says it. She's like, and we got rid of Aussie last week, and I was the one who, whatever she says, she brags about her big Aussie play, which was a foolish error when you could have actually got out a strategic powerhouse. And then, again, she makes another foolish error of wanting to get rid of Michaela. She was never, again, we know she has no concept of where she is.
Brad and Sierra say to Debbie, we really don't like Michaela. Yeah. She's not somebody we can work with. And it's a general feeling around the camp.
But even if it wasn't, the fact that they say that to Debbie again says, yeah, Debbie, you're right.
Oh, yeah, but
you're right, Debbie, we're with you.
Let's have this say, if this person's is that bad, or is that antisocial around camp, right? Why vote them out? When Sierra and Sarah were on the beach, and Sierra said to Sarah, I'm going to get my S's mixed up here.
He's doing pretty well so far. Thanks. Sierra and Sarah, you're doing really well.
But Sierra said to Sarah, oh, I want you in my 3. Yeah. And I want to take Debbie. And I was like, that's gold.
That's gold for Sarah, who's now, who is going, I need to be sure that this alliance is what for me. And knowing Sierra and Brad being so tight and power,
that's a problem.
And having her say, it's not about Brad.
Yeah.
He's a pawn for my thing for you, which was great her to kind of bring in Sarah and Debbie. But then to have Debbie...
No, but this is the thing. If she says Debbie, if I was Sarah, I'd be sitting there going, well, Debbie's an obvious.
Yeah, cool.
If the two of us can get her there, we should take her to 3.
Oh, totally.
Totally take her to 3, because there's no votes for that.
But then when I think Sierra's putting words in Debbie's mouth going, yeah, Debbie, we both want you. And then to have Debbie come and foil that by saying, no, I hate Sarah.
Let's get to Debbie and talking to Aubrey, because I thought this was displayed Debbie's complete failure to grasp the game in 2 seasons of playing it, right? She comes up to Aubrey, who A, has watched the game before, and B, has played before, right? And talks to her like she's never seen it before. Yeah. Like, oh, you're a smart girl, so you know that you should vote for me, right?
What a ridiculous way to talk to someone.
Right?
And then Aubrey's reaction was my favourite. It's like,
roll the eyes. Yeah,
right.
Sure,
Shut up.
Just like... But what I loved is that as Debbie walks away, we get a voiceover from her saying, well, I talked to Aubrey, and I think she's on board with what I said.
And she's like, what? You're not.
You're an idiot. That's how she looked at it.
Use that. Yes. Talk to Sarah.
And she went straight to Sarah. And this is why Aubrey's a player and Debbie isn't, because she took that straight to Sarah and said, Sarah, guess what Debbie just told me? Yeah. You're going to lie to me. You're going to, cheat.
Because you have to remind me here, Aubrey wasn't part of the 6.
No, she's not. She's on the outer.
So Debbie has her 6.
Yes.
Was she trying to get a 7th, or was she trying to bring in a replacement 6?
This is Debbie thinking she's a player, because what she's done, she's gone to Aubrey and gone, well, we're voting for Michaela.
Do what I tell you to do.
Do what I tell you to do.
Oh, you'll be all right if I do.
This is the thing. It comes out of nowhere, right? But she thinks this is somehow strategic. She goes, by the way, Sarah's lying to you, or something like that, right? I was like, why would you even include that? It's not getting you any...
You know what? She kind of reminds me of a really bad mob boss. Yes, like in the episode.
From some sort of...
Yeah, it's like The Godfather, you wake up and there's a horse's head next to you in your bed. And with her, it's like that...
Well, it's sort of like a Simpsons version of a Godfather.
Yeah, exactly. It's you roll over and it's like a plush toy horse head or something. This is ridiculous.
All through this episode, I think Debbie's demonstrated she has no real grasp of the reality of the situation. No. She has no ability to check her expectations against reality.
No, never does.
Never checks, never even tries to get information.
Do you see the strut that started to come from her one massive power play vote?
Yeah.
Or tribal, which was weak as anything. But feeling that power and feeling how in control she thought she was. That how she just strutted around camp.
If you remember back to her first season on Conroe or whatever it's called, right, with Aubrey, right, that's exactly how she got just before she was voted out on that season too. And Aubrey even says in her one-on-one, right,
she did this last time.
She said, this is exactly what she did last time. Debbie's learnt nothing.
No, nothing at all.
Nothing at all about how to play this.
Yeah, well, she has, we said right from episode 1 of this show thing we're doing, Debbie is not a game changer.
No,
she's there purely for audience views.
She gets camera time. She does silly things.
Yeah, she's the kooky one. But there is no gameplay. There was no progression in gameplay. And even we're still getting, I'm a captain in the Air Force Auxiliary. I'm around planes a lot more than these peons who aren't near planes. So I'm just going to let them enjoy the moment because I'm always on an airplane. They flew over here on a plane. But how'd they get to the island? They've been on planes before, Debbie.
This is what Debbie says, right, when they're on the plane to go to the reward. She goes, I'm in the Air Force, I'm really used to planes, right? But these others, I just let them enjoy the moment because you could see from the look on their face they were really enjoying it. I was like,
these peasants.
But that's what I was about to say. It's like, she's acting like they've never flown before.
No.
They're American. They've probably flown a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
And the fact that they're stranded on an island.
And
they didn't swim out there, Debbie.
Right?
It was a really nice view on the way in.
But yeah, the other thing she says is, and being in a plane really changes your, is a change of perspective. I'm like, yeah, you're 500 feet in the air. Of course things look different, and that's given. Andrea is really impressing me with her thinking. Her ability to get information from what she sees to think about it. I really like her.
Yeah, I still don't think she's not in my top power plays. Like, I still think...
she hasn't made a power play yet.
Yeah, I still think Sari far outdoes Andrea.
No, I don't think she does. I think the best thing Sari's done so far is basically put Michaela in her back pocket and keep it quiet.
And on top of that, she's the one who set herself up with Sarah as well, though. She's in probably prime seat with Sarah.
Yeah.
I would put her... I think Sarah would talk to Sari strategically first before going to Andrea or Zeke.
Probably at this stage.
Yeah, and I think that's
will change.
It may change, but I think that's merit to Sari's game. Debbie was it's great to see her go, but I think that as far as strategic plays go, you had again another missed opportunity. And they all know it. They all know Sierra and Brad are running that side.
This is again a missed opportunity, but this is again comes back to something we talked about in another episode. This is why you don't vote Haley.
Yeah.
Right? This is why you don't vote somebody like Haley at the beginning, because you never know when your alliance is going to fall to pieces.
Yeah.
And having other people floating around gives you gives you opportunities,
gives you
right?
leverage here and there.
So imagine at this stage if the first 2 votes had not been Hayley Aussie, but had been Hayley Michaela.
Yeah.
There's less people to go to when a big alliance forms.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why I think strategic players oftentimes misaccount with people like Hayley and Michaela. They're on the outer. You should go get them and bring them in.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not going to put them right on the inside of your alliance, talk to them every day. Keep them in the loop.
Yeah.
Let them know you're thinking about them.
Exactly.
Keep them close. You may not want to keep going with them, but at least they're going to trust you more than somebody who's simply going out.
You know, I feel like the only reason I could think that maybe they did go Debbie is because Debbie's sure thing of an alliance would have crumbled if Brad or Sierra had went. And I reckon Debbie would have just gone a bit nutty if she was the one that wasn't in the boat. I think she would have just done more crazy things. That's a potential to...
How much more crazy?
I know, but I think we could have got more Debbie Brad explosion crazy stuff. Well, maybe as a potential.
Actually, to Brad's credit, and I don't think we've really talked about this enough, but the way he handled Debbie,
even having her on his team, like he would always make sure Debbie's on his team because.
Did you hear what she said when she voted? It was really interesting, and I think this is a credit to Brad and perhaps Sarah, but I think mainly Brad. Debbie says when she's voting, "We're in a democracy. No one tells anybody what to do." And I'm sitting there going, Brad just told you who to vote.
Yeah. Brad let you have one vote and think you're amazing and think we're sharing. And that's the key to someone who's in a lot of power.
I think Brad gets hidden a lot because of the way the show's cut at the moment. But I think he is thinking really well.
I think Brad's playing a great Boston Rob style game.
Absolutely.
He's pulling the strings without actually anyone seeing him pull strings, which is now it's going to be interesting being on the end of... Well, you know, now he's on the smaller end of the alliance. Doesn't mean much.
But let's talk... They just got rid of Ozzy because he's a big physical threat. Brad's name never came up.
Never comes up.
Right, Brad's name. No matter what, whether you're talking about a social game, whether you're talking about a strategic game, a physical game, an immunity game, Brad's name does not come up. Everybody else's does. That's what I mean. Brad is...
The only thing that's coming up is Brad and Sierra are the power couple.
Yeah, that's all.
But they still never mention we got to get rid of them.
We never...
You'll probably get rid of Sierra.
They got rid of Debbie, and yet they know Brad and Sierra.
It's dangerous to keep those two.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. Why get rid of Debbie? If Zeke and Andrew are going to put their differences aside, vote with Sarah, right? And with Siri, and with Michaela, and Ty, right? What are they... No, we'll give Debbie. I mean, it was such... In one sense, I know why they got rid of Debbie, but I think it's a mistake.
I think it's a mistake too. I think there was reasons behind the Debbie vote that may have blurred into a similar reasons for Debbie wanting Michaela out vote. Similar reasons, but there might have been a slight more strategy behind it. Might have been easier. And, you know, when someone is on that much of a high horse that they can't see anything beneath them.
That's true.
It's so much easier for them to not question anything and be, oh my God, you got me. That was the biggest blindside. No, it wasn't, Debbie.
It may be that
camp. That's why.
It may be that Sarah, right, and she was the key here. No matter what else you say about bringing Andrew and Zeke together, I mean, true, if they weren't going to, but they're on the outer. If they don't work together, they're dead anyway, right?
Sarah's the key. Game.
And if Sarah said Debbie, the other 5 pretty much just have to go.
Yeah, and Debbie. That's why Sarah's switch was so pivotal from going from down here to up here.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't going down here to over here with potential.
No.
It was going down here to calling the shots.
But this is what I like about the way Sarah's thinking. She said she's on the bottom in the 6. So when she's done this flip, she didn't flip to go, unlike Ty, who went from a bottom of a 3 to a bottom of a 5. She's done it to go from the bottom of a 6 to top 3 and another 5.
Yeah.
And she is in the top 3.
She definitely is. And now with her little her steal of a vote, great thing to have.
Sarah could have really made a mistake here and play that vote, right? And I was really hoping she wouldn't. I think I wanted to just let the numbers ride.
Yeah, I think she had the numbers, and I think that obviously that's why
she's done the right thing.
Yeah,
she's let it ride.
And that's going to be pivotal to get someone like Brad out. or some.
Well, this is the thing. You get to steal someone's vote. Yeah. That's 2 votes. Yeah. For you. Mm-hmm. It's just a terrific advantage.
Yeah.
If you can get, and it works up until, because I made a note of this, up until 5.
Yeah.
If you can take it to 5, you can basically change who the 3 is going to be by yourself.
Yeah. So easy.
It's just an amazing advantage.
Powerful advantage.
And when you consider what Debbie did with hers last episode,
oh God.
That's just silly. That's ridiculous. It was just silly. When Sari had her personal challenge, in the, I think it was the immunity challenge.
No, that was the reward.
That was very heartening to see that she didn't give up. But I think the real telling point here is, and I have to admit, she got quite a few points from me out of this. But Sarah's dived in the water and she's got a heart of gold. I really like Sarah for that.
Yeah, Sarah won a lot of points for me as far as human being points.
Yeah.
And actual real strategy points, because she could have not jumped and played a safe game again. Yeah. And she said that. She's like, that's right. How I went out last time.
Her being able to flip back this week, it tells me that she's thinking about the game, she's thinking the right way.
Yeah.
She's understanding how the numbers work. Like, think about it. She's been in the middle for 2 votes now. And now she's made it 5-5.
Yeah.
She's still in the middle.
Yeah.
Even though she's top 3 over on one side. Mm-hmm. It's a great position.
Great position to be. Okay, so next week then, who do we think's going to go home?
I think the Brad Sierra alliance will stay strong, even though they're down to 5.
Yeah.
It'll be a 5-5 square off. I'm always willing to bet that Sarah will flip again. Right?
Okay, I'm saying she won't flip. That's a good one to throw in. I say Sarah won't flip this time.
Okay, I'm willing to bet she would, but it's time for them to start making strategic moves. Like, there's not many Debbie or Hayley's left now.
No.
There's Hayley and Ty. Michaela and Ty, right? That's pretty much it. After that, you start hitting strategic plays like Aubrey.
Yeah.
Right? I would be willing to bet, I'm going to call Zeke's going home.
I was going to say Zeke's going home too.
Yeah. I think because Zeke's very smart. They know he's very smart. Yeah. He's in a fractured alliance.
And he's also made, that other episode he did make some pretty hard... he did stuff himself up a little bit in his game plan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to recover from that. And I was thinking the same thing Zeke might be going.
The problem is, it's okay to be on the outer if you're a Hayley and a Michaela and you haven't made any plays.
Yeah, I think...
Zeke's made plays and he's on the outer now. He is vulnerable.
I'm going to say, just to mix it up a bit, one, I will say she won't flip just yet.
Okay.
But I'm with you that I feel Zeke might be on. But just to spice things up again... I'm going to throw Troyzan's name under the bus.
Oh, okay. I don't think
he will. I'm with you.
Yeah, he's in the middle.
I'm with you, but just to make things interesting between you and I,
bringing his name up.
I'm just throwing Troyzan out there as maybe now he won an immunity. We're going to see the physical threats going to pump up the list of we've got to get rid of them. So I'm just going to throw that out there as a bit of a wild card.
All right. Okay.
So Zeke for you.
Zeke for me.
I'm secretly Zeke, but I'm outwardly Troyzan.
Secretly.
Well, look, I had this feeling as well. I'm like, I think Zeke's days are really numbered.
Oh, I think they are.
I don't think he's got enough to patch up the holes he put in his little ship, and he's sinking.
Andrew's gotten a life this time round.
I agree, and I agree. Andrea came out looking better from that.
That's right.
Because she also said Zeke just wanted to have this power.
Yeah.
Zeke was power hungry, and that's his downside. He wants to be in control. He needs to be in control. I don't need to be in control. That's a clever thing to say.
Clever.
I don't need this. This was a vote I thought was a good thing to do, but Zeke needed the power, needed to vote this way. So, and he does come off very well spoken and very clever in the tribals. So Zeke, but I just reckon Troyzan.
Okay. Zeke for me, Troyzan for you.
And what was the other one? Sarah flips for you. Sarah doesn't flip for me.
Okay.
All right. And, these bets, man, we got to have...
Goodbye, Debbie.
Yeah. These bets we do, we should have some sort of reward.
Oh, God.
I haven't thought about that. I'm just thinking we're doing these...
What, nicey poll each week or something?
I don't know. We'll think about it as we go along. We'll just think. I'm just making things up,
Well, maybe we can get the fans involved. They can vote.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Maybe I don't know. Oh, look, we'll think. Let me think.
Something makes me think you've been thinking about it already.
I haven't yet. I have been thinking that we need something. Like,
okay.
I feel like...
Yeah, right.
I don't know, maybe... I have no idea yet. But I am thinking about something. I'm not sure what it is. Right. But I've been thinking about other things as well. So,
good. Hope you have.
Yeah.
Survivor's not a life, even though you might think so.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
It was a great little episode. A lot of strategy, which I really liked the strategy.
Yeah, I love this episode.
This episode is some great strategy. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.
See you next episode. Now we have to wait.
How long do we wait for? Do we smile while we leave the camera?